if you guys did not know, every year we try to pour into more leaders and give them more opportunities, just like we give you guys. So, freshmen, if you're new here, we have a thing called We Own the Night, where like you guys, all your peers, all the high scores take over the whole entire night. Okay, and you guys get to do church the way you like it. Well, my commitment to as well is to also train up the generation before you, young 20s, people that may feel like they're gifted to preach, or maybe they're like trying to work on that. And so tonight, dude, I thought it'd be super fitting on this Alone series that we bring Rubano up here. Okay, one of the greatest leaders that we have. Now, guys, if you're not sure what to do with yourself right now, and you're like, I like doing videos, I like being in videos, after service, go up to this man and be like, I want to be on the serve team for videos. He can teach you how to edit videos. He can teach you how to be an actor or an actress. Okay, I mean, he's had a couple of famous YouTube people that he's like grown up, you know. So here you go, Rubano, go for it, bro.
What's up, guys? I don't know about that statement, but I definitely have tons of fun doing videos. So I'm one of the source leaders here, like Derry said, and you find me doing, announcement videos or in the church doing video production. So yeah, if you guys are down for that, that sounds fun to you, let me know and I can get you plugged in, and we'll have fun doing that. But today, I want to talk about some real world stuff, some things that are happening in the world, because I feel like it's appropriate to talk about it here. School is great. It's good to learn about, Englishes and mathses and all that. But I think here's where we talk about the real stuff. And so school's important, but I really believe that Wednesday nights is so important. Before I get into it, though, I want to know who is the youngest one in their family. Like, who's the baby? We got a couple of hands here. Who's the baby? Who has younger brothers or sisters, though? Of course, some of you guys, people are online, if you guys want to chat, if you're the youngest. I am the youngest. I'm the baby. Go ahead and put up a photo of me and my sisters, if it'll come up. Oh, computer crash, okay. Well, when they get a chance, a photo is just going to pop up of me and my sisters when I was younger. And I was the baby. And so sometimes my sisters would say that I was favorited and I got whatever I wanted. Maybe it's true. I'm not sure. But I grew up with not a lot. So if they say I got whatever I wanted, it probably wasn't that much, but it probably was true. We're talking about Joseph's story. This series, it's all about Joseph and who he is and what we can learn from him. And last week, Derek talked about how Joseph almost hooked up with this one girl, but he ran away, and so that worked out for him. Sometimes you just got to run away from certain girls, if you hear me. And but today, I want to talk about his younger side. When he was younger, Joseph had some stories too. Some crazy stuff happened, and he was the youngest. Joseph was the youngest, so in this story, I'm going to call him, there's a picture of me and my sisters, by the way. Yeah, I was the baby. I have another sister, by the way. I didn't grow up with her, so she's not in the photo, but I have 3 sisters, and that's me with the ball. Yeah, you can take the photo down now. So I'm going to call Joseph, because he was the youngest, I'm going to call him Little Joey. So today we're going to talk about Little Joey. And next week we'll probably talk about Joseph again, so just know it's the same person. But Little Joey was the youngest of his family. He was the epitome of annoying little brother, the youngest one that just got whatever he wanted. His dad did, whatever he wanted, his dad would get. The older brothers, so he had 11 older brothers, so there's 12 of them, right? And the older brothers would be out in the field. This is Little Joey. The older brothers would be out in the field. His dad would send Little Joey out to the field to go check up on his older brothers to see if they were slacking off, to see if they weren't trying their hardest, and then he'd go back and tell his dad, which brother was slacking off. You can only imagine, these brothers were like, dude, I freaking hate Little Joey. This guy gets on my nerves. Little Joey somehow gets all his 11 brothers, right? He starts a little fire. Gets a little campfire going. He gets all his older brothers somehow, right? His mom and his dad, we'll call him Mama and Papa. He gets everybody around, and he's going to tell them a story. He's like, guys, get together. I got this really cool story. I got a dream, and I just really need to tell you guys, okay? So he gets everybody and he starts telling about his dream. And he's like, all right, guys, I had a dream. I had a dream that I had a plant. It was my plant, and all my brothers, just picture like 11 dudes right here, right? They're just like bigger and buffer than him. And you guys had your plants too. But my plant, it started growing like much taller than everybody else's plant. Yeah, it was sick. So my plant was like a lot more greener, and it was just like the sickest plant ever. And then all of a sudden, like, your guys' plants just started bowing down to my plant. Oh, that was so sick. You could just imagine the older brother's like, what? He brought me over here to tell me about this plant dream and how it's going to bow down to his plant? And he's like, no, guys, hold on, don't leave. It gets better. I had a second dream. So the second dream was, so there's some stars in the sky, right? There's 12 of them. One of them was my star, yeah. And there was a moon and a sun from Mama and from Papa. And the stars were cool, but my star in particular, it was like super shiny, like super sick star. It was just like, because it was my star, right? It was like the sickest star. And then your stars, all 11 of those, started bowing down to my star. Yeah. And even the moon and the sun started bowing down to my star too. It was sick. And the dad didn't really like that, but I mean, he didn't do anything about it because it was little Joey. And you can just imagine the older brothers are like, what? You brought me here to tell me about these two dreams? This is what it says in the scripture. So we're going to get to some scripture now. This is what it says. You can bring up the scripture. Computer probably crashed again. I'll read it to you. Scripture says in Genesis 37:8, his brother said to him, do you intend to reign over us, little Joey? I was going to say that part, but I'm going to put it in there. Will you actually rule over us, little Joey? And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. Yeah, of course. When I first read the scripture and the story, I was like, dang, Joey, like, you know these dudes hate you already. Like, you're going to go and tell a story like this, they're going to beat you up, man. Like, older brothers, you tell them something, they're just going to, you get them mad, they're going to beat you up. But dude's dream was like, it was legit. It was real. It was from God. He got the two dreams. It was real, and it was from God. And he told them because he felt like he needed to. And sometimes when you get a dream from God or get a word from God, sometimes you just got to tell it how it is. You know, at first I was like, Joey, you kind of got to use some discernment, bro. Like, they don't like you. Why are you going to say this? But, hey, sometimes you just got to, like, you get a word from God, you just go for it. But God was giving little Joey a glimpse of what was going to happen in the future. Crazy, right? Stars and the plants. Like, what the heck does that even mean? But it was like a glimpse into the future. And when I read this, I thought about us, and I was like, what if in 2019 God gave us a glimpse of what 2020 would look like? Like 2 seconds, like, bam, 2020, with like no context whatsoever. I mean, just even try to picture it in your head. I think some of us, our anxiety would just like skyrocket through the roof. Like, what would we see? We'd see like natural disasters everywhere. We'd see fires everywhere, like smoke, across the skies. We'd see sick people everywhere, right? Because of COVID. We'd see civil unrest. We'd see racism. We'd see a bunch of Karens. We'd see presidential nominees that like don't even make any sense, right? We see the Trumps and the Tiger Kings and the TikToks being banned and online schooling and everybody having to be 6 feet apart from each other like you guys are right now. Like, it would look like the end of the world, right? It would just be like, what, God, that's 2020? I don't know about that. I don't know, God, like, that's kind of scary. You want to know what happened to little Joey and his brothers? So, little Joey told him the story, and the brothers got mad. Like I predicted, I was like, they're going to beat him up. Little Joey told him the story. The brothers kidnapped him, right? Kicked him out of the house. They sold him off, human trafficked him to some rich people. This is what it says in the Bible. They sold him off to some rich people. They ended up being like the mayor or like the king of and queen of a city called Egypt, one of the biggest cities in that time. And so They think he's dead because they sold him off. They don't know what's happened to him. But all this drama happens with little Joey. Derek talked about it a little bit last week about the girl. All this drama started happening. Eventually, the king and the queen of Egypt put him in charge of the food of the land, right? Really, really big land, like way, way bigger than this. And little Joey gets, probably Joseph now. Joseph gets a dream or like an insight from God saying that there's going to be a famine. There ends up being a famine. Joey was smart about it. He stocked a bunch of food for Egypt. And his older brothers, right, this is like much later on in time, his older brothers and his dad find out that there's food in Egypt. And Papa sends 11 brothers over there to go get the food because they're starving, right? There's a famine everywhere except for Egypt. And they go send the brothers, and they end up talking to Joey, but they don't recognize him. They think he's dead. That was like a long time ago. And they talk to Joey like, oh, master of Egypt, we need your food. And they're bowing down to him. And Joey recognizes him, and he's like, that's my brothers. What? That's great. He doesn't reveal himself just yet. He kind of messes with them a little bit, like any brother would do. But he ends up revealing himself like, guys, I'm little Joey. I'm big Joey now, but like, I'm little Joey. And he hooks him up, gives him a bunch of food, and he basically saves their family line. Like, he saves their lives. And that's what God was basically trying to say with the whole stars and the plants thing. I mean, what to the brothers at the time around the campfire, what looked like complete disrespect to the brothers and to the dad and to the mama, it looked like disrespect, but that's what God was trying to say. Like, yeah, guys, I know the dream looks a little crazy, but trust me. And our reaction to 2020 is sometimes like the brothers. Like, even to this day, like today, August 20, whatever it is, like today, we can't even comprehend what good can come out of 2020, right? Let alone 2019, 2-second glimpse, bam, we're in it now, and we're like, oh, yeah, I'm in it, and I still don't really know what God's trying to do right now. Let's show some memes. I found some memes about 2020. I love memes. Yeah, this is one of them I found. Teenagers in the future trying to learn all the things that happened in 2020 for the history final. And they're just like, oh my, they really went through all of that? No TikTok? Oh my gosh. That's what the kid's thinking. Next one. Me still processing 2018. That's some of us. Like, 2018 was rough. And then 2020 comes and hits like, bam. All this is happening. Next one. One more. Let's do one more. How I feel about 2020 so far. Yeah. Just restart the whole thing. Like, yeah, honestly, that's why I like memes. Like, they're funny, but honestly, it's like what we're all thinking, right? Like, yo, 2020 sucks. Like, just skip over the whole thing. Like, it's not really what I had planned, God, right? But I want to shed some light on what's really happening in 2020. I wrote some things down. In 2020, I'm hearing stories. I've kind of, I didn't realize when I was going to preach this, but I've heard stories in 2020 of people like giving their money away to families who lost their jobs, right? Students are getting closer to God. I'm hearing all these stories of students getting closer to God. They're diving into the Word. They're talking to God, right? Some students, some of you guys are leaving your old friends. Like, you guys are realizing they really weren't friends at all. Like, you guys are starting to see something different here. Students are defending their faith around their other friends, right? In love, obviously. Students are serving a main church on Sundays. Guys, on any given Sunday, the volunteering staff, over 50% of them, on any given Sunday, like next Sunday, it's probably going to be the same thing. It's over 50% is high school students. Come on, like, you guys are up there worshiping, leading worship. You guys are in the tech. You guys are on the cameras. You guys are in the back on the broadcast room. You guys went from being the hope of the church, like, man, it's going to be real nice in the future. Like, this is the generation. You got the matter of a month. You guys went from being the hope of the future, hope of the church, to literally being the backbone of the church. Like, come on, like, you guys are not seeing what's happening here. I mean, some of you guys are finding a newfound, like, appreciation for your own parents. Like, what? Like, I found something online. Well, actually, my mom found it. She gave it to me because I told her about my sermon. She's like, you got to say this. So I'm going to say it. It's a story about a conversation that Satan and Jesus had. If you guys don't know who Satan is, it's the Bible gives him multiple names, but Satan is one of them. It's the guy that rules all the darkness in the world, right? There's a bunch of darkness in the world, and that's the dude, Satan. And they're having a conversation. Let me read this to you. There he goes. Satan says, "What's up, Jesus? Check it out. This is what I'm going to do. I will cause anxiety, fear, and panic. I will shut down businesses. Yep. I will shut down schools. I will shut down places of worship. I will shut down sporting events. No. I will cause economic turmoil." Satan's like, yeah, what's up? What's I'm going to do? I'm Satan. Jesus is like, oh, yeah? What's the next one, guys? This is what Jesus says. Jesus is like, okay, Satan. I will bring together neighbors, restore the family unit. I will bring dinner back to the kitchen table. I will help people slow down their lives and appreciate what really matters. I will teach my children to rely on me and not the world. I will teach my children to trust me and not their money or the material resources. Yeah, Satan, that's what I'm going to do, right? So this is a little story that someone wrote up. I don't really know where the origin is. Someone attributed it to, what's that guy's name? I forgot his name. Yeah, Daniel wrote it. No, he didn't. But honestly, this is like a glimpse of, I mean, someone wrote this, but they saw it. They saw it. Some of us aren't seeing it, right? We're seeing all this craziness, glimpse of 2020, but some of us are not seeing it. I want to know what's really going on in the world. The story gives a good glimpse, but there's a spiritual battle happening in the world right now around us. We cannot see it. I know some of you guys have heard about this, but it's in the Bible. It's a spiritual battle that's happening in the world around us right now. We don't got to get scared about it because God's on our side, but it's literally a spiritual battle. And what lens are we looking at the world with? Right? Whose lens? Satan? Jesus? Right? And I get it. You know, I'm kind of joking around here, but I get it. Some of you guys are literally at the brink. You guys are like on the edge. You guys, you know, started school a couple weeks ago. You hated school before. You guys like hate it even more now because online schooling sucks. You know, so honestly, I think some of you guys are loving online schooling. You guys are getting a kick out of the whole thing, seeing the old teachers struggle a little bit, trying to figure out Zoom and trying to figure out how to turn on a computer. I get it. Some of it's kind of funny, but I mean, when you really gotta like show up and learn, it can kind of suck. I get it. Some of you guys are like the memes I was showing. Like you guys are just saying, no, let's just skip over 2020. Like 2021 is gonna be better. I promise. You know, they're just like, I don't really like it. You know, some of you guys are like Joseph's brother, Lil Joe. You're just mad. You're just like, God, how can you let this happen? You know, I almost brought up a photo of, you know, those photos that when you first look at it, you can't really like see what it really is. You kind of gotta like close one eye, or you gotta like squint a little bit to see what the real picture is, or like you gotta look at it from like a certain angle, right? You know those pictures. And I feel like that's what we kind of gotta do sometimes with our spiritual life, though. Like ask God, like God, let me see with your eyes, let me see with your squint, let me see with your angle. God, show me what's really going on here. I want to see the real picture, God. I don't want to be surface level. It looks scary, but I want to see with your eyes, God. You know, and speaking of seeing things differently, I feel like people think about Gen Z kids a certain way. You know, you guys got that stereotype. You guys are, you know, I feel like people think negative about you guys sometimes. Like you guys are just, you know, antisocial and you're always on your phones and you guys just don't know how to talk to each other, and you know you're superficial because all you guys care about the likes and the posts, and you know that's what I feel like people think about you guys like that. But what I think about you guys is that you guys are like super creative. You're like collaborators. Everybody wants to collaborate with each other. You guys are like future focused. You're very self-aware. I'll tell you that. Very self-aware. You guys don't really care about what someone looks like on the outside. You guys care more about what's going on the inside, what's their heart condition. You guys don't necessarily care about the big lights and the big stage of church, or else you guys wouldn't be here today. You guys care about like meaningful and deep relationships. You guys don't want someone to just like check up on you, like, hey, how's it going? And that's really about it. Like, you guys want someone who's like a mentor who's really gonna like care for you and look after you and walk with you and be there with you and not fail you and not walk away. Like, you guys care about some real things, and that's what I see. So don't let anybody like put you down when they talk about the future. You know, there's no hope for the world because Gen Z kids, all they care about is their TikTok. It's like, no, guys, stand up for what you guys believe in. I think you guys need a bigger voice, and you guys have the platforms to do it. So be bold about it. You know, 10 years ago, I heard stats that if 10 years ago, if you invite like 10 high schoolers to church, 8 of them would say no. They would say, I don't want anything to do with God or with Jesus. But like, I'm hearing nowadays the stats are like, you invite 10 high schoolers to church, 8 of them would actually say yes, because they're wanting to know that there's a real God out there. They want to know that there's something bigger than themselves out there. They want to know that there's a God who's alive, who wants to walk with them and who wants to talk with them, who's going to talk back. They want to know that. They want to believe that. And I feel like if you'd invite your friends, they would probably come. You know, I really believe that there was a man named Jesus who walked this earth, and he lived a perfect life, and he died on the cross, and he rose again 3 days later, and he basically saved us from our own sins. But what I think he also did was give us direct access to God. He closed the gap between us and God. We have direct access to God. You guys can sit in your room and talk to him. You can ask him to show you things. You can ask him to see the world with his eyes. God, what am I not seeing? What's deeper here? You guys care about the meaningful and deep relationships, but God is trying to do that too. There's a deep and meaningful relationship that you could have with God that will surpass all of those relationships. And so God isn't bummed out that 2020 hit and it just looks like it's crazy, and it wasn't the plans that you guys had. There's so many birthdays that have passed, including mine, that I wasn't planning on just being inside all day and maybe doing like a Zoom celebration. Like, I know this looks like the bump in the road, or it's just like we just got to get over this time right now. But God is saying, no, the bump in the road is the road. Like, I knew this would happen from the very beginning. I knew this would happen already, and I knew you guys would be going through all this. Some of you, it's difficult to see what God is really doing. Excuse me. Like Joey, you guys are angry that COVID hasn't gone away and school's online, and you're bored in the house, and you're in the House board, and there's no presidential candidates to choose from, and, your life seems like a mess. The band can come up, by the way. You guys can start. I'm almost done. I want to be real with you guys. I'm going to be straight up and be real. Be vulnerable right now. There's times I too question whether I believe. I know you guys do. I question whether I believe in God, whether I believe in the whole Jesus thing. And I have deep thoughts about it. I'm like, God, are you even real? Like, I'm doing a lot for you. I'm doing all the video stuff and everything, but like, man, like, are you real? And every time I conclude that God is real, I conclude that He's real. Why? Because I think about the times when I was younger. You guys saw a photo of me when I was younger, and we wouldn't have a lot. We wouldn't have a lot of food in the house. We wouldn't know if we were gonna eat full meals the following week because my dad would get let go from job to job. I didn't know that in high school if I was gonna get into the college that I wanted to, or even if I was gonna go to college because we didn't have money to pay for it. I think about even as recent as a couple of years ago, I gave everything I had away to move to an entirely different country to go serve some people, to serve some students who lived in an orphanage. orphanage, and I didn't know when I was going to come back. I felt alone out there. I felt like I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm all the way out here in a totally different country. And eventually I came back I moved to Fresno, and I don't have any family members here. I didn't know anybody here. I didn't have any community here. I felt like I didn't really know what God was doing with my life. I didn't know whether I was on the right path or not. And the difference was that although I couldn't see the bigger picture, I struggled. The difference was that I just trusted God. I was like, God, I don't really know what you're doing, but I'm going to trust you. And he hasn't failed me. He's never failed me. And I truly believe he will never fail me. That's why when I see all this craziness that's happening in the world, and I get the glimpse of like, I'm scrolling through Instagram, I'm seeing this just so much stuff, I got to turn it off sometimes. I'm like, God, I know that you are my hope. You are my rock. You're my foundation, because I know you never failed me, and I know you never will. So I have peace in that. Truly, that's the place that I come to when I start to question about God and what's going on in the world. You know, sometimes you got to get to that point in your life where you just feel like you're alone and you're so uncertain about what's going to happen next. Sometimes you got to get to that place where you're just like, all right, God, you know what? I'm just going to trust you. Like, that's really all I got. And some of you guys are not at that place just yet. You guys still got a little more steam, but I challenge you to trust God in the little things. So try today, tonight, think of something tangible in your life that you're like, I don't know what the heck is going to go on, but God, I'm going to trust you. And write it down on a board, write it down on your mirror or wherever it is, and think about it. Pray on that over and over and trust God and see what happens. See what happens. I'm living proof of God not failing somebody who believes in him. So don't ever feel ashamed to like get on your knees in your room or lift up your hands, even if it's like here in worship, you know, call on God. God, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if 2021 is going to look better or it's going to look worse. I hope to God not worse, but hey, we don't know. But we do know that God is with us, that he will not fail us, right? And it's like, it's every day. It's mastering that trust. It's mastering that, God, I don't know, but I'm going to trust you. Right? I truly believe that God sometimes doesn't want to change the exterior around us. He doesn't want to change what's going on around us. God in a second can stop the fires. God in a second can end Corona. God in a second can make everything just look so nice. And I believe that God isn't really in the business of doing that. I mean, sometimes he is. He hooks us up every once in a while. But like, God really cares about not the exterior, but the interior of like what's going on in your heart. That's what God really cares about. He cares about what's going on in the heart. So when you guys are praying like, God, my situation around me and things are crazy, God, just like make it all go away. In reality, I'm thinking like we should pray like, God, what are you trying to show me though in this time? What am I not giving to you? What parts of my heart am I not giving to you right now? What do I need to just like surrender? You know, and God wants to take that little thing that you're giving to him and make something good. That's what he's trying to make good. Not the exterior. That's easy. This is the hard part. And he wants to be in your life. He wants to be active. He's alive. He's a God who's alive. So if you don't have a relationship with God, or maybe you just are not sure, you could be sure today. Really, it's really easy. You guys just say a prayer. I'll pray it with you. I'll do it right here. How about everybody close their eyes, bow their head? If you guys aren't sure if you have a relationship with God, or if you've never made that commitment, or you're just not sure. In your head, you can say it out loud if you want, but in your head, in your heart, just repeat after me or say something similar like, God, I just need you right now. The God that Ruben is talking about, I want to experience that, God. I want to know what it feels like to see with your eyes, to see the world with your eyes, with your lens, with your squint, with your angle. God, I've messed up. I'm a sinner. I'm not perfect, but I know that if I just trust you, I can gain peace in that. I could be confident in that. Thank you, Lord. And with everybody's head bowed still and everyone's eyes are closed, if you guys said that prayer, why don't you look up at me? I want to pray with you. Why don't you look at me? I got you. I got you. I got you guys. Online, if you guys said that prayer too, just hit that hand button. You guys can look up at me now. You know, some people have just made a commitment to follow Christ. They have taken a huge step to be like, God, let's go. I'm with you, and I'm going to trust you. And I know the world looks crazy right now, but I'm going to trust you, God. That's it. I'm taking a step of faith. And guys, I'm telling you, get with the mentor. They'll help you along. But it's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be peaches. I'm not saying it's going to be super easy, guys. But it's a walk worth living. Trust me. And I'll leave with this. That I believe in you guys. All the high schoolers here. I believe in you guys. I am for you guys. I'm here to walk with you guys. You are not alone. This series is about being alone. You guys are not alone. You have God and you have your leaders, right? Even if you don't got your mom and your dad on your side or whatever it is, I'm here for you, right? You can come talk to me. And I love you guys. If you guys want to talk later, I'm going to be in a group with some of the guys, but even after, if I'm not in your group, you guys can come talk to me. I don't mind. But let's worship. Everybody up on your feet, and let's worship a God who's with us and who will never fail us.